Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible online?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Good morning, sir.
I think so.
Good
One
morning,
moment.
sir.
I think I can't hear you. Let me change the mic setting. What happened? Why am I unable to hear? Hello? Hello, can I?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you.
I think this is cable is not
Good
connected.
morning,
Just hold
sir.
on.
Yes,
Cable
sir.
is not
It's audible.
Just hold on a moment. Hello? Can you speak, someone?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you.
We
Yes,
can
sir.
hear
Okay,
you.
fine.
Audible.
Okay, great.
Sir, able
Good
to
morning,
hear you.
everyone. Good morning
Good
now.
morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So last class, we were talking about the firewall, right? You understood the firewall, right? Firewall work is same as security guard, right? Whenever any communication comes in, packet comes in, it asks from where you have come, where you have to go, right? And to whom you want to meet, means which port the traffic has to go, right? So based on, though, if you buy the firewall, it will be connected to the vendor cloud, right? Vendor research team does the research and check it out what are the IPs are blacklisted. Based on that, it will disallow the traffic, right? As well as you can also create the static rules. Get in mind? You can also, by default, you buy, but the firewall has the all deny rules, right? All deny means every traffic will deny unless you do not do any static rules. However, it is good for a small company, all deny rules. Get in mind? Because enterprise companies cannot define from where they are going to expect the traffic. Yes or no? If you have certain sources only, okay, these vendors only going to access your network, then you can allow them, and rest you can all deny apart from them, right? But in the enterprise network, you do not know, right, who all are going to access your resources. Get in mind? So all deny rule we have to disable. In that case, static rules manually we can enable. Who is not on mute? Kumar, let him go in the waiting room. People are joining and I don't know what they're doing. Okay. So what I was telling, that all deny rule, that's the reason we disable all deny rule. Otherwise, only few traffic what static rule you have created will be allowed and all will be disallowed, right? So we understand, if you want to allow yourself, you can create a static rule, means on the static ACL, you can allow what you want to allow, you can disallow what you want to disallow. Got it? So the table, there are two parts, dynamic and static. Got it? So now let me draw the architecture quickly, and then we'll understand a more concept.
But then,
You're asking something or it's a noise? This is your firewall, right? This is your firewall. Get a mind? So let's suppose now you understand whenever any packet comes in, right? Firewall is which layer of device?
Layer 4.
Layer 3 and
3 or
layer
4.
4.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Means it has access to the header, source information, destination information, as well as source port, destination port. Based on that, it allowed disallow. For example, this is the Facebook server, right? And Facebook server has the IP address of 199.0.2.50. Get your mind? So, for example, now this is an attacker, right? So you know what happens? Let me tell you when this application, how this application works. For example, you understand, right? If you want to deploy any application, first of all, you have to set up a server. Get it, mind? Over the server, you have to, install an application, deploy an application, right? Application store all the data on the backend database server. Get it, mind? Application will have a backend database server on which your profile, for example, Facebook, your profile, your photos, your video, what you're uploading, right? Everything is be stored on the backend database server. Get it, mind? Once, for example, once you access facebook.com and then click my photos, for example, my photos, then one packet will get generated, right? In the packet, you will have header, then data. In the data, you actually have the database command. Your request go to the application and application will run those database command to retrieve the data what you are looking for. In this case, you are not forward sending the data. It has some database commands to retrieve the data from the application. So request will go to server, then application will understand you are requesting your photos. Then it will be automatically converted in the form of database command, and those commands will run on the application, on the database to retrieve the data, right? Retrieve the data and the packet come back to you and you can see your photos. Understand? Yes or no? So this, as of now, this data contains the commands what you are looking for. Or header always same information. For example, you access the facebook.com, right? For example, this is your source IP 195.0.2.100. This is your source IP. Now you access facebook.com, right? The packet will get generated, will hit to the firewall. Firewall will check what is the source IP. What is source IP? This one. What is the destination IP? Facebook server IP. What is the source port? What is the source port? Source port?
Random port.
Anything
443.
And what is the destination port?
443.
Only understanding about the header. Firewall does not understand what is there inside the data part, right? And based on the header information, firewall will allow the traffic, because as per the rule, any IP, firewall has the role, any IP, if it is going towards the Facebook server on port number 443, it has to be allowed. Until unless it is not blacklisted on the firewall, it has to be allowed, right? So attackers are very intelligent, right? They will not use the blacklisted IP. Get it? In this case, for example, normal traffic is muted, mic please. So normally, when even attackers try to attack your application, right? So packet hit to the firewall. Firewall will decide whether connection has to be allowed or disallowed based on the header only. Means IP address and port number, and IP address is not blacklisted, as well as port number is 443. Resulting, firewall will allow the packet, allow the communication, but here attacker has run some malicious database commands to execute on the database, to delete the database, to manipulate the database entries, or to steal the data from the database. Get it, mind? Understand? In this case, you can see, because this firewall is network security, firewall is network and transport layer of device, right? It does not have visibility what is there on the data part. Yes or no? Because the firewall is layer 3 and layer 4 device. This particular firewall, standard firewall, network security firewall, is a layer 3 and layer 4 firewall, right? In this case, even attacker can add a malicious payload, right? This firewall will not be able to identify that this particular connection or attacker is doing some malicious activities on the database, right? In this case, even though you have the firewall, you cannot say that your network, your data is secure. Yes or no? Because firewall decide to filter the traffic based on the IP address and port number only. Firewall will not have visibility what is there inside the data packet, data part. Yes or no? So don't you think that in this case we need one more layer of security control which understand what is there on the data part, so that it can filter out what command you are running? Yes or no? If any malicious command you are running to execute on the database, or to to remove, delete the database, modify the database, it should be detected. Yes or no? So anybody knows what is that device called as, which secure your application, web application on the application layer of application layer? Anybody knows which device has
Application firewall.
WAF.
data part, right? That device is called as WAF.
AF.
WAF means WAF, web application firewall. In that
Firewall.
case, introduce one more layer of security control that is called as WAF, web application firewall. Understand the name web application. Web application firewall means security, which provides a guard, right? Security guard. So web application security means the device which we use to secure the web applications, not other component, not other like server and all, right? It is used to secure the web application. Means whenever you have any web related application like your website, ERP application, which are accessible from outside user on port number 443 and 80. Get it mind? Those applications we call as web application, which we access through browser. Yes or no? To secure such application, we have to deploy a device called as WAF, right? You understand? Not all the server or devices are accessible for outside people. Yes or no? Only what is for accessible for outside people? For everyone? Web application. Yes or no? For example, Amazon has a website that called web application. People can access from outside. SIEMXPERT.com, Accenture.com. Accenture is having multiple business applications, right? Those are web application people access through browser. Only for securing those applications we use web application firewall. Get it mind? So let me tell you, first of all, before getting through the web application firewall, let me tell you that what are the kind of resources we have, because some resources like your normal servers, your network security devices should not be accessible for outside people. Yes or no? Only web application website access we give to outside people, right? So that means in that case, outside people are coming inside your network. But inside your network, you have some critical resources also that should not be given access to outside people. Yes or no? In that case, to securing the network, generally the companies divide the network in multiple zones. Okay, let's understand what are the zones in the network. What are different zones we can have? Okay, let me draw it here. This is internet firewall or perimeter firewall or gateway firewall. Either internet because internet facing, right? Or gateway firewall or perimeter firewall. This is internal firewall. See, firewall is not only always in gateway only, right? There will be multiple firewall inside your network, right? In case one firewall fail, you have other firewalls, right? So it's an internal firewall. Then you may have certain more network. The switch. This is again a firewall. Switch. Again, certain computer. This is zone. This zone is called a DMG zone. DMZ. This zone is called a DMG zone. This zone we call it internal zone. Internal zone. This may be a PCI zone. PCI. PCI. A PCI zone. DMG थोड़ा सा वो हो गया, थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो गया डायग्राम. Now let me tell you. Certain time you may have more firewall also, similar firewall here also. Now let me tell you, understood, right? So what I'm saying is, your full network had divided on multiple zone based on the type of devices and what kind of data they're handling, as well as what kind of access has to be given. Get it? The whole network has been divided. It's a company network, right? Whole network from here to here, all your internal network, company network. So it has been subdivided in multiple zone, right? This zone is called a DMG zone. DMG zone stands for demilitarized zone. What is military zone? Militarized zone. Military means security, military area, security area, right? Demilitarized means non-security or less security, right? That is the reason this zone we call as demilitarized zone. Mute your mic, guys. Please mute your mic. Guys, if you not mute, I'll have to put you on the waiting room. Okay, if you do make this mistake, a lot of noise is coming. This zone is called a DMG zone, right? So you understand there will be some application on the company, web application, which we have to give access to outside people. That means we have to allow outside people to come inside to our network. Yes or no? So the application which we give the access, generally web application we give the access to outside people, normal public web application. Yes or no? So the zone where we deploy web application and allow outside people to come inside and access those applications, that zone is called a demilitarized zone, because it has less military and it is allowing outside people to come inside. That's the reason this zone is called as demilitarized zone, DMG zone. Get in mind, outside people. So outside people can access this devices, and these devices will have, this application will have the public IP. Then only people can come outside, can access inside, right? So now, so all the applications which are hosted on the DMG will have the public IP. For example, 106.0.5.100. Yes or no? For DMG zone servers, application will have the public IP. People from outside can come here, cross the firewall. Firewall will have the rule. Any connection coming in toward this IP address on port number 443 or 80 should be allowed. Rest of the traffic should not be allowed. Get it? That kind of zone, that kind of rules it will have, and resulting outside people can cross your internet network and can access these resources. That's the reason this zone is called as DMG zone. So mostly in DMG zone, you will have the web applications. Get one website, web application, and those server will have the public IP. It may have internal IP also, two IPs, public to access outside people, internal to access internal people, internal IP, private IP also. It may have two IP every server, right? To manage, you have internal IP and public IP to give the access to outside people. Get one? So this kind of zone called a DMG zone because it has less military and it's allow people to come inside. Understand why we call it DMG zone? All the application any company will access on will deploy in this zone also only, that we call it DMG zone. Are what DMG server hai, one of the DMG server has the problem. Then people will understand this is the DMG zone and must be that server, some application must be hosted. That's the reason we call it DMG zone. Understand? Anybody has any confusion on DMG? No, right? Understand? Now you can see this traffic coming on DMG, crossing this firewall and DMG. Now they might be possible that connection coming in here has to go here. From here, it's already crossed the firewall. Go to the internal network also, right? So now you have to deploy one more firewall called internal firewall. You may deploy internal firewall where you have more robust rules. So anybody coming inside should not cross this line. You may have one more firewall to segregate the network. And this firewall, because it's internal to a network, you can call as internal firewall. Get it? All your internal server, like your attendance, your service, attendance application or some internal application that you people are accessing to do the business. Get it? Internal servers, right? Those will be deployed on the internal zone. Only internal people inside the company will have access to those servers or applications. That means those servers or application where we deploy, we call as internal zone. Only people inside the network will have access to those resources. That means which are deployed under the internal zone. You may have some more zone such as PCI zone. For example, your company is handling payment card related, industry related. PCI means payment card industry related data. PCI is payment card industry. So what are the payment card industry related data? Credit card, debit card, your user ID password, yes or no? Your internet banking user ID password, yes or no?
Yes.
Your account detail, that information is called as PCI, payment card industry. What is called PII? PII?
Personally identifiable information.
Personal identification.
Personal identification information means the information from which you can identify some person, right? So what kind of information we call as PII?
Name, address, photo, Aadhaar card.
Aadhaar card, address,
National identity
Date of
number.
birth.
security number in USA, right? So that information is called as your date of birth, Aadhaar card. It's the information from which you can identify a particular person as well as personal identification and PII, right? So there are separate compliance policies in the company. Personal identification information should be highly secured. PCI data direct money. Yes or no? If somebody has access to PCI server, mean directly money, having access to the internet banking password, username, your debit card number, credit card number, yes or no? Means direct money. Understand? But this servers, if compromised, means directly attacker can get the money transfer from one account to another account after getting these details. Yes or no? So these are the highly critical servers. If your company is handling, working on the payment like a financial client, yes or no, like bank or any company handling the financial related data, right? So that means that data is called a PCI. So you might have PCI zone. So PCI zone, government has made the very strict compliance policies that only few people should have access. Only people who are dealing with PCI related data, only they should have access, not other people, right? People should not be able to cross this line. Get it? That's the reason another zone has been divided. It's a compliance requirement. Government auditor will come and cross check. If any mixing of data or mixing communication is happening, your license will get cancelled. Get it? It's not something a company bother about PCI data. That is the reason they are. It's a compliance requirement. They have to follow the compliance policy, government policies, right? Government says that the whole this data should be segregated from the normal people, right? People only authorized, only few people should be having access. Get it? So there's a different zone they have created. That's called PCI zone, and you have PCI firewall. We have which have very restricted rules. Only some people which have authorized can access to data, not all other. Even security people also, there's no cyber security people also cannot access those servers, cannot have access to will not have access to those servers. Get it? I mean, even the people, let's say for example, some people sitting here in internal, of course, you guys will be sitting on internal zone only, right? Then you will access people who are working on PCI data. They'll be sitting on internal zone, their laptop, right? But they have to connect through PCI. You will have very restricted role. Maybe you will have one more server on which you will take the remote access and jump to this server. Get it? I mean? So that in case your desktop will compromise, right? Desktop does not have access directly to the PCI data. In intermediate server, which is very secure, through that you will jump to this. Means you do not have direct access. PCI data, company will not give the direct access. You connect to one of the server called jump server, jump station, then you connect to the PCI servers, right? To have more secure, because there might be possible your system get compromised. Yes or no? And attacker will have the access to PCI data. Then you cannot connect directly. You will have an intermediate server that is called jump server. Through that, now you will have access to the PCI data, right? So very critical. So these are multiple zones that your company will be having. So
I have a question.
yes.
So just now you talk about the jump server. So what is that exactly?
Jump server means, let me elaborate then if you are asking. Jump server is nothing but an intermediate server. For example, this is your laptop desktop, right? And this is one of the server which you have to access. So there are two ways. One way is directly you log in and take the remote access to the server directly. Yes or no? So if you take the access directly, means directly you have access to the server, there might be possible that the system get compromised and attacker will have access to the server completely. Yes or no? So what company doing is they do not give the direct access to the server. They ask you, first of all, you log in on this common server, jump server, and through jump server, you can take the remote access of this server. So in case your system is compromised, they cannot directly connect it. They need the credential for this server, then connect to this server. Get it? So many of the applications, when you access the SIEM also, right? SIEM also when you access in the company. So let's say, for example, your SIEM is hosted in this particular server, right? This particular server, right? So you don't have connectivity direct. You can't access the server directly. First of all, you connect to the jump server and then connect. So jump server is nothing but normal Windows server. Normal Windows server, right? But it has capability to allow many number, like we have jump server here in our office. How you access the lab, right? So remotely, you will access to this jump server, and through the jump server, you'll connect to the SIEM. So in my jump server, more than 300 people can connect at the same time, concurrently. 300 people from home, they can take the access of my jump server at the same time. You'll feel like different session, different desktop, right? And then take the remote of the SIEM. That is how companies are giving the access. Jump server is mostly for security perspective, so that you will be directly connecting to the main resources. Get it? That is called jump server or jump station. Get it? So it's a normal Windows server, but it has multiple licenses. You have to buy a separate license. In normal server, only 3 people can connect at the same time. Means you have one server, 3 people can take the remote access. If you want to allow many more people to access the server, then you have to buy a separate license, remote access license for that. In normal Windows desktop, laptop, only one person can take the remote access. For example, this is my laptop, right? It is connected to my company network. If it is on, if I know the IP address of the system from my home, if I connect to my company network, I can take the remote access of this computer. But at the same time, I can't access directly here because it's allow only single login. Desktop laptop has only single login. Get it? While server comes with default 3 logins, mean 3 people can connect at the same time. It's not something that everyone will work together like mixed connection. No, you will get separate desktop. He will get separate desktop. He will get separate desktop. Get it? So that is the normal server. Jump server will have multiple licenses. So as per the license, you can have multiple user can log in at the same time. Get it? In my server, I have license of 300 people. Means 300 people can connect concurrently and do the practice in the lab. Get it? Through this jump server.
Thank you, sir.
Got it? Okay. So you understand the zones, right? So what do you think if I have a SIEM XPERT website I have to deploy? So where I will deploy, here, here, or here? SIEM XPERT website. Where
In the
DMG.
DMG, because DMG applications are public facing applications. Any application which are public facing means has to be accessed by outside people. We deploy in DMG zone. That is the reason we call demilitarized zone, so that outside people also can come inside, right? So in this case, you may have multiple firewall in a company, perimeter firewall, internal firewall, DMG firewall. You may have separate one port firewall here or PCI firewall, right? It's not only that you have only one firewall. Company may have 4 or 5 firewall, and that too, it is recommended to go with the multi-vendor firewall. It's not something that you have good relation with Cisco sales guy, you have good relation, you bought all the firewall from Cisco only. Yes or no? It is not recommended. So why do you think, what do you think that why it is not recommended to buy only Cisco firewall or only FortiGate firewall, all firewall?
Because other applying the same firewall, it will protect only one side. Different companies have different applications.
The vulnerabilities, because of the vulnerabilities.
To allow different ACL listing, the static and dynamic listing.
Okay. See what will happen. For example, you bought this firewall from Cisco, right? Cisco firewall has some vulnerability, some weakness. If there is Cisco firewall, this is Cisco firewall, this is Cisco, all Cisco. If attacker can compromise, exploit this vulnerability weakness and compromise this firewall, that means he can compromise all the firewall. Yes or no? Understand? It's kind of one point failure, single vulnerability can exploit all the whole network. It's an open network now. Attacker can exploit and compromise all the firewall because Cisco vendor was not aware that our device is having vulnerability weakness. Because this every tools team do their vulnerability assessment and penetration testing to identify if there is any vulnerability present. Before attacker comes to and attacker exploit those vulnerability, these vendors will release the patch update to fix those weaknesses. But sometimes it may happen, right, that vendor does not come to know, and before attacker came to know about the vulnerability, and attacker has exploited the vulnerability, and resulting your whole network will be open after compromising. That is one reason. Another reason is there might be possible that one of the connection is coming from one of the IP address, for example, for one of the port number. This Cisco firewall does not have signature ACL entry that this particular IP address is suspicious, right? And resulting firewall will allow. If you have Cisco here also, here also, here, all firewall will allow. But if you have FortiGate firewall here, FortiNet firewall, maybe it has the signature. So attacker came here, but it cannot cross here, because it's a different vendor firewall and that particular vendor might have signature. Get it, mind? That is the reason it is recommended to go with multi-vendor device, multi-layer security control. We don't have only firewall, we'll have other device also, for example, WAF that I'll discuss now, right? Multi-layer security control. In case your IP-based filtering, port-based filtering gets failed, right? So you have WAF application firewall to filter from data perspective, from data payload perspective. Yes or no? So multi-vendor and multi-layer security control. Multi-layer means this particular device is layer number 3 and layer 4. Now we have device another layer number 7 also. Get it, mind? So multi-level, multi-layer security device, right? So in case one device gets failed, you have other device to maybe other device can identify particular malicious activities. Get it, mind? So what do you think that when I say web application firewall WAF, right? So on which zone and where I have to deploy this web application firewall?
DMZ.
Why DMG?
Because there are web
Because it's
applications
public.
there.
Because
access.
name itself suggests web application firewall means to secure web application. And where
Coming
we
from
deploy
the
application? On the DMG. Yes or no? Understand?
Yes.
Web application may have here also, but those are internal web application, only for internal people. So we have to secure more from internal, from outside people. Yes or no? So for outside people, only these applications they have access, which are there on the DMG. Hence, the web application firewall just before your application, because we are securing web application only, right? So we will not deploy here, because if you deploy here, every traffic, full traffic will go. Some inter will be here going on, here going inside, that also will go with web application firewall. Web application firewall we use to secure the web application only, right? So where we deploy? Just before the web applications, right? Somewhere here. Somewhere here. Yes or no? Before our application, we'll deploy the WAF.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, why we deploy SIEM experts only in DMC zone as more critical data are in PCI and internal zone also, right?
So what will happen? See what will happen is if you have any of the payment card related applications also, for example, I'm talking about normal application, you have the WAF here in the DMG zone, right? In case any of the financial related application which are also has to be given outside access, right? In that case, there also you have to deploy the WAF. Get mind? So just give an example, the DMG, because not every company have the PCI zone. Only financial related company will have the PCI zone, not every company. So I am here discussing about the normal model, for example, now here. So web application will be there in the DMG zone, but any application, maybe PCI zone application such as ICC net banking, that is again a PCI related application. There also we have to deploy the web application firewall. Maybe you can create a rule directly, you can deploy somewhere where you can have the rule for DMG zone also, normal application also, and some critical like banking related applications also. Get I mean? Or you might have separate firewall. Sometime compliance says that no, you cannot mix. You should have separate devices. Separate devices for the PCI zone, right? In that case, you should have a separate security devices just to secure the PCI zone. Got it? Understand? Okay. So now you can see web application firewall will define a DMG zone because our applications are hosted on the DMG zone, right? Just before the applications, web application will deploy the WAF. Get it, man? So now once the packet comes in, attacker has added some malicious command to execute, right? Packet will hit to the firewall, first of all hit to the router. Router will open only layer 3 information from where you have come, where you have to go, and check the routing information. The route is there, it will route the traffic. Yes or no? Then it will hit to the firewall. Firewall again will open the header, layer 3, layer 4, from where you have come, where you have to go, and what is source port and destination port. Destination port was 443, and resulting IP address was not blacklisted, and destination port is allowed for everyone, 443. Then resulting the traffic will go here. Now if you have WAF, then WAF will open up the packet, means data part, right? Data part, and check what command is being executed. That is one. If it is malicious command where user is unauthorized to access, because certain access you will give to user, right? Not full access. Yes or no? Not unauthorized access to the data, right? So it will check the command. If the command is unauthorized or it's a malicious command, your WAF will block the access, will not allow the access further. Get my understand? So these are set of commands that your application firewall will be having. Any malicious command is being executed, your WAF will block it. For example, your applications, right? Generally from WAF also you can give the captcha. For example, IRCTC application is the web application, right? Or any of the applications such as web application and so once you access, for example, IRCTC.com, once you access, you got the page, that means your firewall has allowed the traffic. Yes or no? Allow the traffic already came to the server and application, and you got the page. Now, whatever you do, your firewall will not block, because for firewall, whatever you're doing, separate packet is going every time, every connection, but every connection, source IP, destination port are same. Yes or no? Every time you're requesting different data or sending different data, what is changing? Data part, header remains same almost, but source port we does not bother about it, right? We do not bother about, but destination port will be same, source IP will be same, and destination will be same. So firewall will allow every time. Get it? Every time what is changing is data part, right? So once you access Facebook, for example, ICT.com, you got the page. That means connection has been successful, and firewall will allow. That's the reason you got the page. Now, whatever you are doing, every time firewall will allow, right? And it is now the application firewall which has to check, right? If anybody is running malicious command or malicious activities, then web application firewall can block it. For example, if you log in to the application, try to log in with 2-3 times failure login fail, it start giving the captcha. Yes or no? That you are not robot. Yes or no? Initially, now there are applications coming in, so that application also you can give the captcha. But now initially, WAF introduced this concept. If you have the web application firewall will understand that person is running, trying to log in multiple times. You can give the, if 3 times it gets failed, then it start giving the captcha to ensure that the person who is trying to log in is not a robot. Robot means script, right? There are some brute force software. So you know why, if you are running 3 times, login fail 3 times, why it is giving captcha, or sometimes some of the applications are disabling your user ID. Why it is? What do you think? You might have observed, right? Every time in day-to-day life, some of the applications, if you log in 2-3 times, 5 times within a specific time, account is getting disabled, or you start getting the captcha, and it's going to verify that you are not robot, right? So what is the meaning of that?
Preventing brute force.
Yeah.
So what is the meaning of giving
Because can someone try brute force attack?
Wrong password ID.
It is making sure that it is not run by any software, by a human being is doing it.
Right, that is
Manually.
the correct answer. Giving captcha is, it is written, makes that verifying that you are not robot. Robot means any script, and you mentioned software means software may have a script, right? So brute force, that is called as brute force. Brute force means gaining the unauthorized access of any system or any application which has the login form, right? Gaining the unauthorized or trying to gain the unauthorized access is called as brute force, right? Now, unauthorized access means you are not authorized. That username password is not yours, right? But you are trying to guess, password guessing, right? Maybe this password will work, this username, this password will work, this password will, this password is called as brute force attack. Get it, mind? So you know what happens? You understand, if you enter username, see, getting the user is not a difficult part, right? For example, company username, desktop username, generally first name dot last name, first name half last name. Yes or no? Getting the username of social media is not a very difficult part, right? The main is password, but it has both the ways. So what will happen? What do you think that if I am trying to compromise your credentials? If I enter username and enter password, some password, it will fail. Another password, it will fail. Another password, it will fail. So do you think that I can guess your credential only for 3 to 4 times, 5 times? No, right? Because it may have several combinations. It may have several. I cannot give only 2-3 times and gain the access, right? That means I have to try multiple times, 1,000 times maybe, even more than that. Then I may get access or I may not get access, but there are chances to get access. Maybe password may work, combination of username password may work. Yes or no? So do you think that you can do it manually? 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times? Can you do manually? Okay, let me enter username and password. Then again username password. You'll get bored. Yes or no? And it's very difficult to manually do the cracking and getting the access, right? So for that, you may create a script. For example, you are logging into this particular application, right? From your system, right? Then manually you can't try. Then you may create a script program. Yes or no? Program you create where you add the library of password, different password. In the script, you say, okay, check for this particular username and use this lakhs of password, all combination, and then try one. Right? 1,000 times you can try within a minute using this script. You can try 1,000, even more than that, combination of user and password within a minute. Yes or no? So is this human? Is this human who is trying this? No, right? It's a script that we call as robot. Robot means automatically acting without human intervention. We call as robot. That's the reason this application is verifying whether you're human or robot. Robot means they're verifying that you are doing not some script. If a script is doing, that means to gain the unauthorized access, right? So human will try 2, 3 times, 4 times. Human will not try 100 times. Yes or no? So in case, CAPTCHA is giving, because if human is trying, human can read the CAPTCHA and enter the CAPTCHA. Yes or no? If it is a script, CAPTCHA is changing every time. Every login CAPTCHA is changing, right? So script cannot read the CAPTCHA. Ideally, cannot be, there are ways, but script cannot read the CAPTCHA. That is the reason CAPTCHA is coming. So before, you see, few years back, CAPTCHA used to come like 1, 2, 3, 4 some numbers, and it is written on the website itself on the normal text. Then attacker found the way to read this CAPTCHA also on the website, the text normal. They found the way, and resulting nowadays very rare website you will see it is 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe it is written on normal text, right? Now what they're inserting the images now. Images means there are 2 types. One image is in the image only it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that if it is normal text, software can scan your website and can learn the text on CAPTCHA. That is the reason now no more rare company will use normal text on the CAPTCHA. Now they will use some image on which it is written some small letters, some capital, some numbers. Now for more security, nowadays this is also not there. This is also critical companies are not using. They are using images like where you can see the firefighters, where you can see the road crossing, where you can see the car, buses, which all images. Then only human can understand, because not full buses, half on this bracket, half in this bracket, just to make it complicated to identify. Sometimes human also are not able to identify. Sometimes you and me also make the mistake, and next time you get different CAPTCHA to identify, to mention. That is complex. This is to avoid the brute force. So multiple times, so you understand, right? If anybody does the multiple login failure multiple times, 100 times, 50 times in a minute, it will be a symptoms of brute force. It can be a brute force attempt, means somebody is trying to guess the password. That is the reason for critical applications such as ICICI Bank, banking application, they disable your user ID for some time. If you enter 3 times, 5 times wrong user ID, they understand that either you forgot the password. If you forgot the password also, but there might be a brute force. Somebody is trying to guess the password, but directly money. Banking application means directly money. Yes or no? That is the reason they are disabling the account for some time. Or you might have to call customer care and tell that you are logging that time, and then they will enable your account, or you have to follow some process, some verification process, like credit card number, debit card number, CVV and OTP and all, to ensure that you are the one who tried login. Get me? That is called as brute force. This CAPTCHA are also coming through web application firewall, right? So this is the homework for you. What is brute force attack? What is brute force attack? I have my one video on YouTube. I explained the class itself in the same class. So now I don't want to repeat here. That is the reason I'm doing the homework. What is brute force attack? What is brute? If you just write this only, you'll get the video on which I have explained what is brute force attack, what is the objective of attacker behind, initiating the brute force attack, right? And if brute force attack happening in a company, what kind of investigation and what kind of action will you take? Understand? So that is the homework. Complete the homework on time. If you're not completing right now along with me, then you will end up completing after the batch. And people who complete, they will get the job first. People who are not completing on time, they will say that, okay, I will ask them, have you started applying? No, sir, I am not applying because I'm preparing now. Yes, sir, after training, you will take 1 month, 2 months to prepare, right? Or you started applying, you will get rejected, then you will learn. So better, prevention is better than cure, right? Yes or no? Doing before is better than doing after rejection. Okay, just 3.5 months training, you follow my training as well as follow the homework. Complete it on time. I'm telling you, this is very crucial time for everyone, for people especially who does not have job or who are not a spy, who are working with very less package, right? Just follow 3 months time, dedicate to yourself, complete the homework, and try to read some extra things also. It's not something the class is enough, but still, this is not a temporary career, right? It's not something that, okay, 1 year only you have to work. You have to work for the rest of your life. Get a point? So you have to keep learning new things. In 3 months of the class, I cannot teach you everything. It is not possible. Cybersecurity is a very vast field. This is the gateway, you can say, to enter into cybersecurity, to get the job, to start your work, right? But there are many things that you have to learn. Get a point? So you need to be dedicated. Do the research over the internet. Learn what the interview question is. Start learning it. Get it? From now only. Just 2, 3 months, 4 months. Forget everything. Forget going out if you don't have time. Forget forget enjoyment. Right? Just give 2, 3, 4 months dedicatedly. Right? If you want to change your life. So in interview, because in interview, the basic will be asked. Apart from that, there are more basics. So there are 2 things in the interview. One is basic network security concept that I'm teaching you here. Apart from that, some more concept that we might not be able to cover in this training, right? In few weeks, guys, mute your mic, please. I'll put you in waiting room. In few weeks, I'll communicate some topics which are very, very important from interview perspective. Because let's say, for example, real time will work on the SOC SIEM, right, in the company. So it's not something that people will ask the question from real time experience perspective only. There are 2 things. One is sometime interview may ask the question directly from basics only, basic networking security concept, latest cybersecurity news, right? And various questions such as MISHRA attack, cyber kill chain, TCP, UDP, these basic command, what is SQL injection attack, right? Some interviewer may be asking these concepts only. They may not touch your real-time work, because there might be possible that interviewer also did not work technically. He's a manager, he did not work technically on the tools. In that case, he might not be asking question technically like real-time experience like SIM and all. Get mind? You may he will be asking the question from this question only, the basic question. He might be reading on the internet what are the interview questions, right? And based on that, he'll be asking around 40 concepts, 40 things that you have to learn from basic network security and various attacks perspective. I have created a document that I'll be sharing you in next couple of weeks, right? We have created a document for each and every concept, right? That you have to go through. Get mind? That is very important. So may possible that whatever we are going to learn in next 2 months, interview may ask a rare question on that, because interview also does not know. Understand, right? Why? Because in cyber security, a lot of conversion happen. Many people are converted, means they used to work on different field. For example, it's a manager for Linux, or he was working on Linux or Windows, right? Now he got an opportunity to work as a SOC manager. He have Linux knowledge, Windows knowledge, but he does not have. He got to know some process as a SOC manager, but he did not work technically. In that case, if he take the interview, he does not know the real-time work much from technical tool perspective. He might be asking the question from these basics. Sometimes you will have some person who is very technically strong. In that case, he may not ask question from basics. He may not be asking a single question, may possible. And he might be asking question from real-time work perspective only. What you do, if this incident trigger, what integration will you, how will you integrate Windows device with your SIM, right? How will you integrate Linux device? If any device is not sending the log, how will you troubleshoot? I'll tell you what is this in the later period. So from real-time technical, core technical questions. So you have to be ready for that perspective also. And sometimes interviewer is Shaktiman, means interview is core technical. He knows the basic concept also, and he knows the core technical also. He may ask the question from combination, basics also, as well as from the core technical also, right? So that means we have to be prepared from both perspective, not only basics and not only the core technical hands-on real-time work. We have to be ready from both perspective, right? Get in mind? If you don't have real-time hands-on experience, even though you know the basics, interview also asks basic, but you will never be confident because you did not work hands-on. Get in mind? If you did the hands-on, even basic ask, you'll be confident because you have the whole experience. Somebody who has worked already, had the hands-on means who has worked, will be more confident, right? Compared to the people who have only theoretical knowledge. Again, that's the reason both are equally important. Get in mind? So along with that, after finishing this week class, which are theoretical class, right? Once we start the actual SOC class, SIEM classes, right? In that case, you have to learn both the things along with that. The technical that I'm going to explain you, practical things, as well as the theoretical concept that I'm going to share you in next couple of weeks, next week, hopefully, right? The document, if you start learning that slowly, right? At least you take one topic in 2-3 days and you explore those topics so that you'll be ready. I'm telling you, if you follow this, it won't be difficult for you to crack any interview. You will be full of confidence. Once you go to the interviewer, once you give one interview at least, right? He'll ask a question, and next time onwards, you'll be full of confidence that you ask whatever question you want to ask. I know everything, for example, in your mind, because it's in cybersecurity, especially in SOC, this is not an ocean of questions. It has a limited scope. It's not a big that, okay, interview may ask anything. It's a limited scope, right? These topics that I'm going to give you, those topics you prepare and this training you take, right? That means you're ready. If you prepare it well, it won't be difficult for you, right? So just dedicate yourself for 3-4 months, right? Forget everything.
Sir, I have a
Sir,
question.
I have a doubt.
Okay, all
Since
people have a doubt.
yeah, just quickly I'll ask.
Yes.
If you get into any company as a SOC, is it important to know the architecture like you have drawn right now on the board, how it is functioning in that company, or will we get an architecture from the company, where the servers
Let
are?
me tell you, if you do not know this architecture, right, then you will never be confident while working in the company, because you have some logs, routers, such as logs will come, your firewall will log come, WAF log will come, right? So now you know where we deploy the WAF, for what purpose we deploy the WAF, right? So maybe you maybe not sure where is the internal and where is the PCI network, but you should know. Then only you'll be confident, right? You can explore, you'll get the confidence while working in the company. You can have a network diagram. SOC team also has the network diagram. Get in mind? Your company network diagram, SOC team also having. Accordingly, they can work. Any incident going through the PCI, oh, this particular connection coming from outside and hitting to one of the IP address, which is the part of PCI zone, means this alert is very critical, because it's a particular destination for PCI zone, means directly money. You understand, right? How critical PCI server is very critical. Yeah, I mean, one connection came from PCI IP and came to DMZ server on port number 443. It's a normal because only connection came on 443 only, right? So to understand the criticality of particular incident also, if we know the network properly, it is going to help you. Get in mind? You can request your team to give the network diagram. Whenever we're deploying anything, right, the client SIEM and SOC solution, we ask them to give the network diagram. Accordingly, only we can deploy and plan.
Sir,
yes, next.
Our next generation firewalls used today, which said to provide protection up to layer 7 of OSI model.
Yes, I'll tell you. I did not tell you about the next generation firewall because I have not explained all the security controls, right? Then I'll tell you what is next generation firewall. Okay, that is recommended only for SME or only few feature you can enable, not all the feature. I'll tell you what is UTM, Unified Threat Management, or what is next generation firewall on the later period, not now. Okay, I am talking about a standard devices as of now, which perform only one function.
Sir,
okay, yes, go ahead.
Force attack and dictionary attacks both are same or not?
You watched my video, brute force first. Okay, the homework that I hope you guys are doing the homework. Yesterday I have given 2 homework. What is malware and what is DDoS? Frequently asked question. TCVOD frequently asked. It is part of that document that I'm going to share. But you can start preparing for that. Okay, so now you can see the WAF. So WAF coming with various vendors. Yes, last question now.
Sir, as this in SOC we will have S1, L1, L2, and L3. So you said this is experience level training. So we will get knowledge on L1, L2,
In this
L3.
training, L1, L2, and majority of the activities of L3 also will be covered.
So as a fresher, will I be able to apply as L2 or L3?
No. If you are completely fresher, you don't have gap. If you have gap, you can apply as L2. Initially apply for L2. If you are already working on the IT, not in cybersecurity, but having IT experience, then you can directly apply for L3 also. Because without having L3 means majority of the major responsibilities. Core technical person, right? To become the core, I cannot make you L3 directly in 3-month training. Person who has already IT knowledge, working knowledge in the companies, working on the IT concept, they know system, server, everything, they can do the L3. But not you. You cannot directly jump from the stair 1 to directly stair 3. If you have the gap, for example, 2-3 years gap, right? Then you can apply for L2. Understand how? Already, right? But if you don't have gap, you are 2020 pass out, 23 pass out, then you have to apply fresher only. We can give the internship. If you're part of regular training, we can give the internship certificate for 8 to 10 months, right? So it will be easy for you to justify your experience. You'll become like an experienced, right? Hands-on work. Because nowadays, companies are not entertaining fresher, completely freshers. Because if they hire you a fresher, they have to train you. You do not know the ABCD of real-time work, right? The person who has attended such training or gone through the internship means done the hands-on, right? Majority of companies will hire those people who have the hands-on, who are ready to deploy people. Completely fresher, it is going to be very, very difficult because there is a tough competition for fresher especially. Every company will look for experience. Rarely you will see any people who are hiring for zero experience, completely fresher, right? If hiring for fresher, they must be hiring if you have attended training, gone through the hands-on training, right? Then only you will get the opportunity. Okay, got it?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So whenever you ask question, just announce your name also so that I come to know who asking more question and who are not asking any question, right? Announce your name whenever you're asking question. Okay, so WAF is also having multiple vendors, right? You have Fortinet WAF also, you have Cisco WAF, you have WebSense WAF, you have multiple vendors. It can be a hardware or software device, right? So again, it will have a signature, right? If you have bought this WAF from WebSense, for example, right, it will be connected to WebSense cloud, right? And again, it will have the ACL, access control list. Get in mind. So now signature will be updated by the cloud, right? If any malicious command or something, it will be updated by the cloud, and based on that, it will allow, disallow. You can also create a static rule to allow or disallow any of the connections, right? So you understand, web application firewall is only for web application security. Any emails that you are sending will not go through the WAF. Any normal connection communication that you are doing outside or any website you are accessing will not go through the WAF. To secure your public facing applications, web application, to secure your public facing web application, we deploy the WAF before those application servers. Get I mean? To secure your application from outside people, right? Internet people, we deploy the WAF. You understand? WAF is the security device to secure the public facing web applications. Understand? Somebody asked the DMG, right, yesterday. I hope you got the answer. I don't know. I did not remember the name because you did not announce your name. But somebody mentioned. Okay, so now what we learn about DMG, about various DON as well as WAF, right? A little about the brute force as well. Now let's get another scenario. Let's get a scenario. For example, now, you know, attackers are very intelligent. Attackers are not a non-educated people. Attackers are very, highly educated people, very intelligent mind. Yes or no? So they always find the new ways to penetrate the network. They always try to find the vulnerability, weaknesses in your network, and they always try to penetrate and compromise the network. They always try to take the advantage of those weaknesses. Let's take an example, right? Now, this is the attacker. Now is the attacker system, right? Now, attacker has sent an email. Attacker has sent an email having malicious attachment, malware attachment. Can I mean? Malware attachment has sent an email to one of the employee inside your company. Can I mean? Now, the packet will come and hit to the firewall after router, hit to the firewall. Firewall will check what is the source IP, what is the destination IP. If source IP is malicious, it will block the connection. Yes or no? But in this case, source IP is not malicious. And it is going to one of the employees to deliver the email. Destination IP is your system internal IP, and destination port number is, what is destination port number? What is the destination port number for sending email?
25.
25.
SMTP.
And source port number? So it will be
It
anything.
can be anything.
Random port.
So how did you come to know? How did you come to know port number will be 25? How did you come to know?
Because it's a mail. It's a mail.
It's a mail.
It's a mail.
Attacker sent an email, right? That is another. It will be on port number 25, right?
25.
You understand? Any company will not disallow any communication on port number 25. Yes or no? In case IP address is not malicious, it will not disallow, right? That means if any connection coming in from any IP address which is not malicious, if it is coming on port number 25, firewall will allow the connection. Firewall cannot check what is there in the attachment because attachment is the part of data packet. Yes or no? So firewall will not come to know that attachment has the malicious malware, right? Because firewall just check the header, source, destination IP, source information, destination information. Based on that, it will allow or disallow. In this case, IP address was not malicious and port number was 25, and resulting packet has been allowed, and resulting this particular person, your name is Sanskar. Sanskar has received the email, and the email it is mentioned, Sanskar, you have won the lottery of 10 lakh rupees. You have won the lottery of 10 lakhs. Recently, we have done the campaign across the India region, Kaun Banega Crorepati campaign. You understand, right? Nowadays people are getting, you must have got somebody from WhatsApp message from Pakistan. Nowadays we are receiving the number is +92. I am receiving, sir, मैं कौन बनेगा करोड़पति से बात कर रहा हूँ, आपको एक text message आएगा and one voice message. I am from in Hindi it is generally Urdu. I am from Kaun Banega Crorepati. This is a WhatsApp campaign, and you have won the 25 lakh rupees as per the campaign. To claim your offer, call on this number. WhatsApp call only, because you have won the lottery on WhatsApp. Then you have to call on WhatsApp, because that is international number, right? And WhatsApp is difficult to detect instead of numbers. Yes or no? WhatsApp it's an IP, right? Internet call. So that is why they are asking on WhatsApp. That's a kind of phishing campaign is going on nowadays. You got a message also in your message that your HDFC account credit card has been blocked because you have not mapped your PAN number. In India, payment PAN number means personal account number, right? Personal account number. Because you have not updated PAN number, your credit card has been disabled. Update it right away by clicking on this link. Once you click on the first time, they'll enter PAN number, then they will start asking account number, registered mobile number, your all CVV number, everything they will ask. Get my mind? So that is kind of phishing attack, right? Similarly, he won the lottery. He got an email, right? Resulting mail has been delivered because you have only firewall. Mail has been delivered. It has an attachment. What kind of attachment? It's a word kind of attachment. He said maybe lottery number is there. How to apply? He opened, and it was some lottery number, something he did not understand, right? Then he closed that particular attachment. He did not realize that it was not a normal world file. It's a macro file. It's a malware. It's program. He did not realize. Once, see what happens is, if any email came, if you just download it, maybe infection will not happen unless you open it. Once you open it, then only infection will start. Malware will start working. So he downloaded, and then to read, he opened it. Once you open it, that malware has been installed in the background. It's a part of Trojan. It's a Trojan. Trojan creates the backdoors, right? Once it downloaded, Trojan has been installed, right? Now, this is the what I have covered in the video. What is malware, right? Once you install this malware, and what are different type of malware, ransomware, viruses, right? Trojan horse, multiple type of keyloggers, yes or no? Multiple type of malwares I have covered, right? So, for example, this is a type of Trojan. This is a type of Trojan. So once Trojan will get installed, right? You will not come to know. You are thinking that is, I don't know what is this, and you close it. But Trojan got installed on your system. Now, once Trojan will get installed, it has been scripted in such a way that once it gets installed, it will try to connect to the attacker command and control server. Attacker is sitting somewhere here, right? So now it has been programmed in such a way that it will connect to the attacker command and control. So if you do the malware analysis, right, there is a way to extract the string. String means what is the IP address port number or what is the URL on which it will connect after installation. It's a program that, okay, once you install, connect on this particular port number and IP address. It will be a attacker command and control server detail. Once it will install, it will connect to the attacker command and control server. Now attacker will gain the control. Now attacker can do any activity on your system, right? Yes or no? That we call as there's a bot in your system. Bot means sometime you're not doing anything automatically happening, right? Man means system is having a bot. Bot means robot, means you are not doing something happening automatically. Then only you call us system is having bot. Robot. Bot is short form of robot, right? Now attacker has gained the access to this machine. Now attacker can do anything. Attacker can steal the data, modify some information, yes or no, as well as can delete the information, or attacker can launch some other attack from your system, from bot. Attacker may use this system to launch attack to some other companies, yes or no, or attacker may try to create the botnet. Attacker may install certain brute force software here and trying to gain the access to other computer by password guessing method, brute force, yes or no. So attacker actually came to the system only because other people might not have received the email or might not have opened those emails. Attacker did not gain the access. So other method attacker will use by installing brute force of the script, right? And script has the library of username password. He may keep same user multiple password or multiple username with same password. Opposite method, vice versa, right? And gain the access of machine. This is called a botnet. Network of compromised computer we call as botnet. There are multiple ways to identify the bot on your network. If you have antivirus may block it, may delete it, yes or no. Or sometime if once malware get installed, it will try to give the access to outside, yes or no. Maybe possible that you have a firewall, that particular attacker IP, because it's not it's not certain that from which IP malware has came. Trojan is connecting to the same IP for command and control. The IP may be different. Now this time possible, once it is trying to connect, firewall is blocking the connection, denying the connection, yes or no. But it will not be a single packet deny because it's a script. Until unless connection is not successful, try to connect again. And resulting, you will see high number of connection has been denied from this particular source to this particular destination. You can see in the firewall has generated very high number of deny connection in the form of logs. And when you monitor it on SIM, you see from particular IP, unusual traffic means high number of traffic has been denied. You can create a correlation rule alert on your SIM. For any traffic coming from inside and going to outside, if it is denied on the firewall, we should get an alert. You got an alert now, you investigate from which host the traffic is getting denied, right? And where it is trying to connect. You check the reputation of those IPs, from where this belongs to, what is the reputation, blacklisted or something. Check it out. And on which port they are trying to connect. Maybe the port number itself is a well-known malware port. Collect all those information to identify this particular machine actually infected. Yes or no? So this is one way we came to know. That another way is maybe attacker is successful. In that case, event will generate successful traffic. So you may have a list of blacklisted IP address. If you see any connections coming from inside to outside and connecting to the blacklisted IP, we should get an alert. Connecting to the malicious port number, you can have a list of port numbers on your SIM. List of malicious port number on the SIM. You guys might not be understanding fully right now, but we will do practically on the later part of the SIM, how we can detect this kind of traffic, right? If you see any traffic going to our well-known malware port number, we can create an alert. Or that is also how we can, we can detect any suspicious activities. So if you don't have SIM, it's very difficult to identify because these devices generate billions of logs per day, right? Checking each and every log will be very difficult. So that is how the SIM will help on the later period. Will help us on the later period, that will understand. So even though our antivirus got failed, firewall got failed also, still if we have the SIM, we can detect and we can take the action. That is the reason we will have SIM and the SOC. How it happens, we'll understand practically on the later, but theoretically plus practically both on the later. Understand? So you understand, right? Mails also can be having a malwares, right? It can deliver successfully, and attacker can further compromise machine and create a botnet, try to brute force, right? So that is the reason sometimes whenever see in your SIM, you'll get the alert that high number of login failure from particular user. That is the reason this is more frequently alert that we get in SOC. That high number of Windows login failure, or high number of Linux login failure, or brute force attempt detected means in a short period of time, you will see multiple login fail attempt. So there might be possible that one machine is already compromised and now trying to create a botnet and trying to gain access to other machines. When you see login for a particular user machine, then you see login failure happening from which user and from which source machine. And maybe possible that particular source machine is infected, compromised, and attacker is trying to do the brute force to gain the access. Then we find out the machine. Yes or no? We check with the user whether user is doing this or not. There are possibility that sometimes user also did this. I'll tell you in the later period. You can install some script to automate some activities. Understand what I'm saying? For example, sometimes this alert may be false positive. Alert trigger high number of Windows login failure. You understood it. Maybe it is a brute force, but it may not be a brute force also, right? Why? Because sometimes you're understanding, right? What I'm explaining you. Everybody understanding, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for example, sometimes, for example, you have one system, right? And you have another server. You have one system and you have another server. You have some application hosted here which generates some files. You have some application system which generates some files. And every day, every hour, or every hour, you have to send those files to this one of the server to one of the folder. Every hour you have to send those files. Get it, mind? Understand what I'm saying? You have one system and one server. In this system, you have one of the application which generates some kind of reports, right? Now, your business perspective, you need to transfer this report every hour to this particular server, and you have to keep it in this particular folder. Means all manual activities. Every hour you have to come, either day or night. Every time you have to do it. Get it, mind? So you are the programmer, or you took the help of programmer, right? And you created a script. You understand? When you are doing manually transfer from one system to another system, every time when you do, you have to log in the system. Every system has a login form, login now to secure, right? So every time you're logging and transferring, Now you said like, I'm not going to do manually anymore. It's a very hectic process. So you created a script. Understand? Automation. Yes or no? You created a script. Now you mention in the script program that you pick the file whenever files are available in this folder, pick it and transfer to this particular system. But when a script will try to transfer, a script will also have to log in. Means you have to give the credential to log in on this machine. Yes or no? So what you have done, you created a script and given the credential. So what happens? Because in companies, I'll tell you the later part, company has the AD domain controller where you don't have to create multiple accounts on all the machines. Whatever machine access you need, right? You'll have only single account and they will give access to the same account only. So domain controller. Get it? Understand? It's not something that you have two mobile, two different accounts. Get it? Only one account will be created, and same account you have access to all the resources, whatever access required from your role perspective. Get it? So now same account I'm using to log in this computer also, same account I have access to log in this server also. Now you created a script, right? Schedule the script, and you have entered your username password to automate. Now you know, right? Username, password we have to change as per the company compliance policies. Company is scheduling change password every 60 days or 90 days. You have to change the password. This particular user got a prompt that your password is going to expire. You have to change the password. This particular user once getting the, he has changed the password. He changed the password, but he forgot to change the password on the script. Yes or no? Understand? He changed the password. That means same password. Now script also you have to change the password, right? But he forgot to change. He forgot to change, and resulting once he changed the password, new password is there, but script he did not change. Now script is trying to log in, but now it is login failed because of the wrong password. But it's not a human that okay, login failed, let me try with a different password. Oh, I changed the password. I realized no, it's a script. Yes or no? Once a script will fail login, it will again try. Continuously it will try to log in, and resulting high number of login failure event will be generated. And you have created a rule on your SIEM. If there are 50 login failures, for example, from one of the user ID, within 2 minutes or 5 minutes, we should get an alert. Resulting on SOC, you got an alert. There is a brute force attempt. It can be brute force also. It can be attacker also who is trying, but this time it was a script, right? So in that case, you raise an incident in SOC team. Okay, alert trigger that Windows a particular brute force attempt happened. Then first of all, you have to check with the user. You checked with the user that we have seen high number of, you have done a security, do not realize. We'll tell that might be possible that you have scheduled some script in your system which is trying to authenticate. Get it? Mind? Then now user realize, you might have forgot the recently you might have changed the password, and you might have forgot to change the password on the script. He realized, hey, yes, I have scheduled, actually I forgot. Then this kind of alert, now this incident will become false positive. False positive means alert trigger, that is a Windows brute force attempt. So initial point of it is true. There are two things. Once you analyze the alert on SOC, once you alert trigger on your SIEM console, alert trigger, right? Alert trigger Windows brute force attempt detected. Now there will be two situations. Either Windows brute force attempt, it can be a valid activity, it cannot be a suspicious activity, or it can be a suspicious activity. If any alert trigger, if you investigated and you came to know it is not suspicious activity, once you investigated, you came to know it's a legitimate, not a suspicious activity, then this particular alert we call as false positive. Get it? When you investigate alert and you came to know this particular alert is not a suspicious activity, it's a false positive. It's a false positive alert. And particular alert, for example, came successful traffic connection from blacklisted IP. Successful connection from blacklisted IP. It can be an attempt for compromise, right? Suspicious activity, right? When you investigated, you came to know, yes, this particular IP highly suspicious, belongs to North Korea and trying to connect to one of the server, right? You after investigation, you investigate and check it out. Yes, it is suspicious activity, and as an expert, you have to block it on firewall, right? So alert trigger successful connection from blacklisted IP, and after investigation, you found the same. Means you found it is true. What alert trigger? It is true. Alert saying that successful connection from blacklisted IP, it is actually true. So in this case, this alert is true positive. Yes or no? While in Windows, for example, it says successful Windows brute force attempt, but if found it's not a valid activity, this is false. Yes or no? What alert says, if you found the same, true positive. What alert said, if you find something different, it's not a malicious activity, we call as false positive. Get it? Mind? So once you investigate a Windows related attempt and user realize that it's his activity, we consider this case as a false positive. Sometimes what happens is, sometimes once alert trigger, you investigated and you came to know it's a false positive, you can close this case here only, completely false positive. Get it? Sometimes you investigated and from your first level 1 investigation you found it is true positive, you have to check. So if you consider here true positive, but for further you have to check by the user in case Windows. So sometime console itself, on the SIM itself you identify it's false positive, and sometime in console you consider true positive and raise the incident, and that user confirm it is false positive, right? Understand? So sometime you'll realize here only false positive, and sometime you have to verify, and in that case you have to create the incident and you have to verify the respective team to check whether true positive or false positive. If you found here false positive, you can close it here only, no need to raise the incident. If level 1 monitoring you came to know is true positive, you have to raise the incident, and then finally it can be a false positive. Understand? Understood, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now you understand, right? As I mentioned, attackers are very intelligent. They find the new ways to penetrate the network. Now this time attacker has sent a malware, a result deliver, and it's created the botnet, or it given the access to the control server, right? You understand that now, even though we have the firewall, even though we have WAF will not come in the picture in this case. You understand why will come? Because WAF is only for web applications. Any traffic coming on port number 80 and 443 will be intercepted by the WAF, and that means web application. Of course, web applications are being accessed on publicly on port number 80 and 443. Yes or no? Port number 25 means mail traffic will not be intercepted by the WAF. It will be intercepted by only any connection coming in outside will definitely intercepted by the firewall for layer 3 and layer 4. But here WAF will not intercept because it's not a 80 or 443 traffic. It's not a web related traffic. It's not a web application traffic. So in this case, only firewall will intercept, and we understand firewall does not have the what is coming on port number 95 does not have information, resulting successful. It got successful delivered, and resulting machine got compromised. So don't you think that we should have some device, some another security controls, which can monitor what email is suspicious, what email is not suspicious? Yes or no? Which can regulate the email. Understand? If any suspicious email coming, it should block those email. Yes or no? As well as sometime your internal user also can send some critical information outside in the form of emails. Yes or no? You understand? 75% attacks compromise are happening by the internal threat or with the help of internal threat. Intentionally or unintentionally. Yes or no? You got an email saying that your IT administrator, phishing email. Your IT administrator wants you to change the password. IT administrator sending an email saying that change your password right away because network password it is going to expire in the next 1 hour. Use the below. Your mail has came itadministrator@accenture.com. Maybe one C is missing. Yeah. Whenever you see IT administrator, some people may not read the full email. It is not ACC, it is only ACENTURE.com, right? So mail came itadministrator.accenture.com. There, Sanskar, your network ID is going to expire, right? You have to reset it right away. Otherwise, your network access to all device access will be blocked. Reset your password in below link. You understand, right? If you got it, what do? You definitely reset. If you're technical people, cybersecurity people, or technically you are aware about cybersecurity concept, right? You might not open it, right? But many of the people may open it. You got an URL, it will actually phishing link. Once you open that link, it got Accenture, written at Accenture, change your password and all, same page, Accenture kind of page. You got enter your user ID, enter your current password and new password. Current password, current what you are having currently, right? As well as new password. Once you click on save, information has been submitted. You have given your username also as well as current password also. Yes or no? That means now attacker can misuse it. Get mind? So if machine got compromised, in this case, you will not say that okay, your or authentication mechanism is not proper, right? It is not something that some machine authentication mechanism has been compromised. It is something that you have given your user ID password to the attacker. I have seen some people saying that Facebook has been hacked. Facebook has been hacked. My account has been hacked. It is not something that your account has been hacked, right? It is something that you have yourself has given your account detail to the attacker. This person, his name, your name is Lavanya, right? Lavanya, she is staying in Bangalore, but her hometown is Mumbai. Occasionally, she used to go to her hometown festival. So now, you know, everybody has a habit, right? She used to actually go to the using flight. So every time. So now everybody has the, you know, the habit of doing cheaper flight from Bangalore to Mumbai, cheapest flight from Bangalore to Mumbai, because she already have GoIBO Paytm application. She checked now because of festival that, you know, price is 10,000. When he searched cheapest flight, he got to know some website, andhababa.com. Andhababa.com, one website she checked on the website, Bangalore to Mumbai only just for 4,500, while other websites are costing 10,000, and she got very cheapest price, 4,500. She was very, eager to book the flight. She clicked on okay booking, particular date she has selected. Once she started booking, it asked to create account, because you have to create an account, right, to book, so that you can get an email. It's very generic. For any flight website, you have to create an account. She created account. She started his name, personal name, email ID, and everything. Then username and password, email ID and password, you have to create new password. But she's having habit. She thinks that if I give multiple password, I will forget, right? She's having to give the same password, same email ID everywhere, right? Same email ID and password she used on her Facebook also, Insta also, Gmail also. Everywhere she used the same email ID. She submitted the detail. After that, somehow flight did not get booked, because that website is phishing website, right? Fake website. Of course, flight will not get booked. She realized a fake website. Then she logged in through Paytm and booked it. Wait. After some days, she got to know somebody has posted something in her Facebook account, and she is also not able to access her account. Somebody has posted some fake post on her timeline, as well as somebody started sending message to her friend saying that, okay, Sanskar, can you help me please today? Actually, I'm very trouble. I'm in Bangalore. I need 10,000 rupees today. I'll definitely refund you tomorrow. Give you tomorrow. Get even that kind of messages, because her account got compromised. Attacker and can you misuse, right, in this way, right? Now Lavanya is saying that my account has been hacked. She did not realize that she only has given the user ID password to the attacker. Facebook has very strong securities. If you compromise their security, if you find any weak holes, any vulnerabilities, they're going to offer you lakhs, crores of rupees nowadays. Right? Somebody is calling me sometimes that, can you please, can you hack Facebook account? I said, what account you want to hack? One of my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend account I want to hack. I want to see to whom he's talking to. Right? These people did not realize that hacking, compromising the Facebook, Google, Insta is not an easy task, right? You'll get crores of rupees. You'll become crorepati. But how this hacking compromise is happening is through these phishing link. You yourself send the credential to them. Get mind? Understand? So that is now attacker can log into your Facebook, as well as attacker can log into your not only Facebook but your banking account also. Banking account, same email ID. Attacker reset your password. Password, same email ID password you are keeping. Attacker can get the OTP and everything on the emails, right? Can log in to Gmail to get the OTP. Can log in to Facebook, everywhere, right? Nowadays, digitalization happening very fast. Everybody has digital mobile, internet, and now banking also on the internet. Means everybody can transfer money through internet. Now, not only educated people, but uneducated people also are using mobile. And many of the educated people also does not have awareness in cyber security, in these digital threats. Get my mind? So now she was also not aware, and that's the reason she has given your username, email, and email password, and attacker has compromised her email account, email, Gmail, Facebook, Insta, everywhere. Facebook or these things, the company also understand this, and before many of such compromise have been observed. They learn the lesson, they understand. Now many of the people, please mute your mic, please. I'll give the time to ask the question. Please mute it. Not muting. Anyways, so yes, I'll move it to the waiting room.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
So why you're not muting? If you have any question, when I give the boss, then you can unmute, right? You can ask a question. So what I'm saying is now, what I said. Now Facebook also realized that digitalization is happening very fast, and many of accounts are getting compromised. Then they introduce two-factor authentication. Get I mean? Even though now you give your email ID password also, people will not be able to access your Facebook, your Insta, your banking account. They will not be able to transfer money. They will not be able to access. Because if they access also, they will not be able to transfer money because it requires two-factor authentication. Now Facebook has launched the feature and it made it mandatory to enable two-factor authentication to secure your account. Now, for example, you logged in. If you are your MAC ID, your device detail will be gone to the Facebook. They identify your device. First time when you log in, they will answer you to OTP to get the OTP or some secure code that you see on your emails. Some you have to save sometimes. You can save it on your system or somewhere. Some one-time password in case you forget the OTP. Or OTP will come to your email. Or not only email on which you have installed a Facebook application. There you will get application will have some OTP on the application. Get it? Mind? So other people when they will access, it will ask OTP, right? And he got your email access but does not get your phone access, number access, right? He will not get the OTP, and resulting he will not be able to log in neither your Gmail also requires the OTP, and your Facebook, all banking application, even banking application you log in also to transfer, it requires the OTP or it required some grid backside of the card to enter. That's the reason dual factor authentication has been introduced. In some of the financial side, you have triple factor authentication, means multi-factor authentication. In company also, some something you remember and something you have, something you get. Get I mean? Something you remember means password, something you get means OTP, yes or no? Or something you have means credit card, debit card grid number backside, or CVV number, something to. These call as multi-factor authentication. Only legitimate or authorized person will only have all three. Attackers are difficult to get now. That's the reason. This is how these digital companies are securing these. Still now attacker tries to call you to get all this information. Phone, they will have, sometimes you should not install any software, any mobile application. Only you should install from authorized sources. Sometimes some application you have installed, they have access to your messages, and that is the reason sometimes account get compromised, right? Because they came to know, because you have filled some form, they came to know your banking details, and now you install an app also, and that app, because generally application we are installing, it asks all permission we give is yes. We did not even bother to read what permission the application is asking. We just give permission. And one of the applications that you have installed, it has permission to read your messages. Once they enter account detail, now OTP came and application has read the message and resulting successful transfer happen, right? So always, because they cannot make it too complicated also. This financial institution cannot make the process too complicated also. If they make it too complicated, people will stop using it. They have to make it simplified also and secure also. Both responsibility they are having. That is any people who are blindly doing this, only their fund transfer happening. Yes or no? Sometimes you say, I did not share the OTP also, still my account has been transferred. Where you have installed some application which has access to read the OTP. So now how we can regulate our email traffic using the device called as email gateway. What we call as, there is a device called as email gateway. A very important discussion, even this is general security awareness, that is very important to understand. That is the reason I had explained you here. Nowadays, people are sending phishing messages also. Physical message. One of my cousin have received an envelope by Indian Post. Envelope and received one letter from Indian Post. They are Sachin Mishra. You have participated in one of the lottery system and you have won a Honda City car. Means no Honda City car. You have a scratch card. It has sent physically a scratch card inside the envelope that you have participated in this one. Now you got a scratch card. So these are the one of top awards, top gift that you get. If you get this number, then this award, this gift, this number, this award. He once he's done the scratch, he won the first prize, Honda City car. He called me. If you won any of the product, call on this number. He called that number and he said like, I got a scratch card and I won this car. He said, yes, congratulations, you won the Honda City car. Now to claim it, you have to transfer 10,000 rupees to our account so that we can send a driver. Driver charge you have to pay because you won the car. Driver charge you have to pay. So send the transfer to this particular number or account 10,000 rupees so that we can send you the car. He said that I don't have. Can I send someone to collect the car physically? Just of course nobody will come physically. Then he called me. That Sulabh, bhaiya, you are in Bangalore, right? I won this lottery. Please go and collect. So that is what attackers are very intelligent, right? They are finding new ways. Yeah? So that is one way. So this device that we have to deploy here, one more device. I'll tell you fresh architecture I'll draw today. That device called email gateway. We'll dig down tomorrow. Email gateway or email security appliance. Email security appliance. So tomorrow we'll deep down how we can regulate the email traffic using email gateway, inbound traffic as well as outbound. Any user sending some critical information, proprietary information outside using emails, that also can be detected using the email gateway. As well as any malware, viruses are coming in the form as an email attachment, that also we can regulate. What user can send what kind of emails outside, we can regulate it, right? So how to regulate email traffic by using email gateway or email security appliance, will deep down tomorrow, and some of the more technologies will cover tomorrow's session. 10 o'clock. So tomorrow join on time. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you for joining.
Sir, one question, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Since how many firewalls can be employed in an architecture, sir?
It depends on the company to company. You may have 4 or 5 firewalls, depending on the zone, how critical your data, right? So you will definitely have more than one firewall in big enterprise company, but you may have 4 or 5 firewall also.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So since Subinio,
I'm muting everyone. I'm muting everyone. You can raise your hand. The one by one I'll unmute. I'll take your question. You're leaving. You're leave. One more. Just hold on. Just hold on. I'll take the question.
DDoS video.
Like, what?
In DDoS video.
DDoS.
DDoS.
DDoS like DDoS.
DDoS video. You said like half open.
Half open connection, right? Half open means, TCP half open connection. I said TCP half open. Half open means, first of all, in order to establish connection, it will send SYN message. Then wait for stipulated time. Client will stipulate time to get the acknowledge. Then server will acknowledge. Then server will wait for stipulated time to get the SYN message, right? Then connection will be established. But it's attacker, so attacker do not respond with SYN, and resulting server still waiting to get the acknowledge for stipulated time and blocking the resource, blocking bandwidth. So if you see many half-open connections, it's called half-open connection, not completed. If many of the connections, such connection half-open, server will still waiting, and it will choke the resources, bandwidth, everything to get the acknowledge SYN to establish the connection, and resulting some legitimate user will not be able to connect because server is waiting to serve other connections, right? Server is busy, right? That is again one way. All right. Okay. Next, Subin, one by one.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Sir, since there is a homework given by yesterday, that is DDoS and DOS. So in that also, I was understanding that there'll be a huge number of traffic coming from one system or a group of system,
Yes.
will be sent, right? So what is the difference between being botnet, also the same attack and a leverage happening, right, in a group of devices? So what are the difference between botnet and DDoS?
In that video itself, if you can watch it once more time. I have
botnet isn't correct. Botnet
DDoS, DDoS attack is being originated initially by using botnet only. Attacker should have the compromised computer, right, using which attacker extend flood of traffic, right? So attacker compromised some computer here, some computer here, some computer this country, some computer this country, and this network of this computer is called as botnet, because some bot installed in your system, bot, another computer, another botnet. If you have multiple such compromised computer, group of compromised computer, we call botnet, right? So attacker now controlling all this machine, and now attacker will initiate a DDoS attack from these compromised machine. Attacker is not going to use his own system. Yes or no? Attacker is only one system only. Again, it does not have 1,000 of system, but DDoS may came from 1,000 of different IP address. So these all are compromised computer. We call as botnet.
Okay, so technically both are the same. Botnet and DDoS. Actually, I didn't understand.
Not same. Not same. Using botnet will compromise computer, right? So these botnet attacker will use this this compromised computer. Attacker will install some DDoS software, DOS software, and will flood the traffic to the respective server application.
Okay, so DDoS is a software technically. DDoS is software, and all the attacked networks are botnet.
You can see DOS software means it's a software which has capability to send multiple packet within short period of time.
Open
it's
packet,
kind of script we call as software which have capability. We can do DOS software which has capability to send multiple packet within short period of time. Human cannot do that, right? So on the compromised computers, we call as botnet. Attacker will install some DOS software which has capability to send multiple packets within short period of time, right? So we DDoS is being initiated. So we call as DDoS is being initiated by the botnet, using the botnet. First of all, if attacker wants to launch the DDoS, first of all, it will compromise the computer and get the access. Multiple computers, that we call a botnet. Attacker gain the access now. Now attacker will install some software and launch the attack DDoS and head to the some other legitimate applications. Okay.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you so much.
Next is Nikita. Arya.
Yes. Hello, sir. Sir, I'm asking that is it possible for a company to have multiple public IP addresses instead of one public IP address?
Yes, you can have. Of course, you will have, because you have multiple servers, right, on which we have public facing applications. All public facing application will have a public IP. Then only people can access.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Next is Nikita.
Hi, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Question is that what is the impact of AI, especially the ChatGPT tools?
I think last time also you asked the same question, or somebody asked the question. I answered, right? As of now, you cannot evaluate the impact for now. It is in very beginning stage, right? As of now, not much thing has been developed from ChatGPT on AI on the cybersecurity. I believe that without human, it's very difficult. Even you have the AI, humans are very important. And again, you will have, you still have that, gap between demand and availability, right? In few years, it is going to grow exponentially. That time, you will have very big gap between availability and demand. So I believe that there should not be a much impact. As of now, it is, it's not commentable. We cannot comment much on this because as of now, not much development happened from cybersecurity perspective. It's very early to comment.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next, we have Vishal.
Yeah, hi, SULABH, sir. Good morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sir. My question is, sir, why, sir, why, yeah, sir, why there actually multiple firewalls is required in any of the organizations, sir? And also, sir, last time I asked, last time I asked the same question regarding and IP to IP, why IP to IP try to establish, and try to gain the access. And how an IP to IP actually try to अपना
हिंदी में बोलो,
communicate.
हिंदी में बोलो, मैं इंग्लिश में आंसर दे दूंगा। You can answer हिंदी।
नहीं सर नहीं सर, मेरा क्वेश्चन यही था कि लास्ट टाइम मैंने मतलब ये अब आपने ये पूछा था ना कि एक सर आईपी से आईपी लेकर के अपने मतलब किस तरह से कम्युनिकेशन होता है एक मतलब नेटवर्क के अंदर, और सर एक और चीज की मल्टीपल फायरवॉल्स, व्हाई मल्टीपल फायरवॉल्स आर रिक्वायर्ड इन एनी ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन आल्सो सर। अपने एक जो अपने या सर प्लीज गो या
see multiple firewall just now explained, right? Because different stage, because in, for example, in perimeter firewall you allow the connection to go to the DMZ resources, right? Now it means you allowed you have big audience. Now initially you have big audience coming in, then you have further another gate. For example, same as you have main gate at your home where many people can come, your father, mother, outside people are okay. Now you have another door. After living room, you have another door. People coming from outside, like your friends and all, cannot cross that. Cannot go to the cannot go to the your dining. Some your from relative came, they go to dining kitchen also, but you have separate bedroom. There also you have door. Yes or no? Bedroom, you have bedroom, cannot go to. So again, filtering out. Same as if you have one firewall, same as you have one gate. Yes or no? So gate means bigger audience can come inside. Now you can have to narrow down. So you have another firewall which have different narrow rules, which can further filter out the broad audience to narrow only authorized people. Get it? Similar, you can same example. Your home having multiple doors, same. Your firewall, your network having one firewall on the gateway, broad audience. Then you have to narrow down based on the access requirement. Okay.
Okay, thank you sir. And sir,
last question बोलो।
हाँ सर, आपने मतलब ये नहीं बताया कि सर मतलब एक आईपी से लेकर के आईपी का कम्युनिकेशन किस तरह से होता है एंड व्हाई दे ट्राई टू एस्टैब्लिश। लास्ट टाइम आपको शायद से मैंने एक से सेम क्वेश्चन पूछा था ना,
पूरा कम्युनिकेशन बताया आईपी से कैसे कम्युनिकेशन होता है, मतलब कैसे, मतलब व्हाट यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड।
नो सर, जैसे सर फॉर एग्जांपल मेरे पास में आई हैव वन अपना माय लैपटॉप और आपके पास भी एक लैपटॉप है, तो सर अगर मुझे आपके आईपी के साथ में अगर कुछ कम्युनिकेशन एस्टैब्लिश करना है तो सर वो मैं किस तरह से करूंगा एंड उसका क्या स्टेज रहेगा।
आपको क्या करना है, क्या कम्युनिकेशन करना है, आपको रिमोट एक्सेस लेना है, रिमोट एक्सेस लेना है तो डायरेक्ट कनेक्टिविटी देना पड़ेगा, डायरेक्ट स्विच के थ्रू कनेक्टिविटी देना पड़ेगा, मतलब देयर शुड बी अ कनेक्टिविटी, है ना। इफ देयर इज अ फायरवॉल बिटवीन, यू हैव टू ओपन द पोर्ट नंबर, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एक्सेस यू वांट, different access on different port number, that port has to be allowed, right? First of all, connectivity, directly or indirectly both systems will be connected. Second thing, what kind of access, remote access or some website hosted on some application that you want to access, so based on the port number you have to access, right? Remote access, what is the port number that you have to allow both system, because systems are having inbuilt firewall also. So if they are connected and if port is not blocking, you can do anything, you can connect, both are directly connected. But if there is a firewall, then you have to allow the respective port number. Get mind? If I connect two computers directly, your computer and my computer both are connected cables. If I don't have any firewall running, I can do anything to your computer. Get mind? I can take remote access or go on the RDP client and I can take the remote access. I can access your file and folder, what is there in the system. I can access everything. Get mind? I believe that is what you are supposed to ask.
Yeah, that was supposed to be. Yeah, so thank you for the wonderful session, SULABH sir.
And next we have Pooja. First, Pooja.
When DDoS attack is done, so what is next step we need to do? How to prevent?
In prevention, I have explained in the video. Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video for DDoS? What's he saying? Yes or no? Your voice is broken. No, then you have to watch. Now next is Joab. Joab, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Sir, actually I am using Juniper SRX 340 firewall model. So I want that how to apply rules on it.
For that you have to learn the firewall. How to create the rule? It's not a hands-on work of the SOC team. You have to learn the firewall, how to create the rules. Okay, so you have to take the firewall.
Okay, sir. And the other question is that I am marking the attendance on your YouTube.
Sorry. Unmute. You got muted. Unmute my. You got muted.
Okay. Okay, actually, I'm saying that I am marking the attendance on your YouTube videos. I am commenting on it. And do I have do any other thing as well?
I'll tell
I
you.
have
Once
to,
you finish the session, how to get the certificate. We'll have one form that you guys everybody will have
okay.
to fill.
Okay, but right now it is enough.
That is for enough now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next we have Mallu. Mallu, Dolly, go ahead. Still not listen. Next is
Hello?
FN Niwa. Go ahead.
Sir, anytime server is down, sir. Because I am asking in government banking, they are asking in server down, anything asking some reason, sir.
Means server down. See, these people does not know actually. These people.
Because when I go to the bank people also server is down. You can come back in half hour.
See, server down means for any reason, if they are not able to access the website, they say server down, right? They generally the server are not getting down 24/7, right? They might have the internet problem on their end, some internal networking problem on the bank, right? They say server down, website is not accessible. Get it? So server down means server where website is hosted. That server is down, then we call a server down. Yes or no? But it's not
only government bank also only asking this question. Tell this questions only.
Why government? Because government employees are having very lethargic approach. They do not work in better way. Government, for example, government has to set up new network, right? Some money will be allocated 1 lakh rupees, 1 crore rupees. Out of 1 crore, many of the politician, then many officer, so out of 1 crore, only 25 lakhs will be used to design the network. And 25 lakhs, the things that you have to buy, branded cables and connector routers that you have to buy for 1 crore, now you're buying only for 25 lakh duplicate materials. There are many fault, of course, right? ICICI Bank, nobody is going to have.
Nobody going to
tell. And that is the region of privatization, because there are a lot of corruptions, right? You see, BSNL, we had BSNL, always network down, low signal, voice breaking. Why? Because they used to buy that faulty product, an old product from Ericsson. I got to know this. I used to, I joined BSNL and I came to know they used to buy this faulty product, some old product, refurbished product, and very cheaper material. If you Airtel and Jio will buy a very good quality material and you buy a cheaper material where duplicate product, of course, the connectivity will be less, right? Connectivity will have the impact. And if Airtel network is down, Airtel engineer will go right away to check. In BSNL government employees, you understand? We'll see you in the mornings. Same happens all across organization. That is the reason. That is the reason privatization is actually good. I don't have account. My family account is having SBI, my mother and father, but I never open account in SBI. SBI, you have to do certain changes. You have to go to the bank. Lunchtime is going on. Server is down. You have to fill the form. Then you come next week. You fill the form now. Come next week. Next week, it's not completed. Next week you come, right? For little request, you have to wait. In ICICI Bank, people will call me, and if I have to drop a check, the person will come to my office and he will collect the check. I have dedicated manager. I will call anytime, any problem. Yeah, I have to drop a check. Kindly make sure it's clear. I'll call him and he will make sure it will clear. Okay, for anything, I can do the net banking, or I can go visit the branch. They will come. Okay, sir, please sit. How can I assist you? This kind of hospitality they have. Yes or no? In private bank, and what I'm paying to them, same only. Yes or no? They're not charging any separate. That is the reason people are saying that now government is doing privatization, encouraging privatization. You understand, right? Privatization, what kind of hospitality, what kind of services you get, while government, what kind of services, and we are indirectly giving our money only to them, right, in the form of tax. Yes or no?
Our income tax is paying, na.
So indirectly we are paying to them. They are sitting and they are not playing their role properly. They are getting lakhs of rupees, while private employees get 25,000, 30,000, and this government employees get lakhs of rupees, right? And do not know They do not know literally things because they do not upgrade themselves. Private employees has to upgrade themselves, otherwise they will be out of market, out of the company. Yes or no? We always upgrade ourselves, upgrade our skill to be there in the market. But government employees, they know that nobody is going to fire them. They do not upgrade, they do not learn new things. People like me cannot survive in a government company, because I will have people, majority of people who do not upgrade, who are not eager to learn new technologies. Yes or no? I cannot survive there. That's the reason I have not given a single exam for government. Not at all.
Okay.
Okay, that is the thing.
Okay.
Okay, next we have Ifinua. Sorry.
Ifi. No, you got it. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Okay, please, sir. I have two questions. One is on, is it possible to have a firewall device or any device that can prevent sending of key logger information to
what information?
Okay, I say, is it possible to have a device that can prevent sending of key logger information?
Keylogger.
Yeah.
Keylogger.
Yeah.
Keylogger is one of the kind of malware only malicious software, right? Which if it get installed in your system, it will detect all the keys. Means you open ICICI Bank website, you open username, type the key, that key will be logged in what you have written. Password you have written, those key will be logged, and it will take the snapshot and send to the attacker. Get it? So keylogger is kind of malware only, right? Once it comes to network, once it gets installed, it will try to connect outside, means try to connect to the other person to gain the access. It's a kind of malware. How you prevent malware, how to identify malware, same way you have to identify keylogger. It's kind of malware only. Okay. So that is the reason we should not use any public computer to log in to our personal like banking account and all. It might be possible that you go to the internet cafe where they have this keylogger installed. Yes or no? And they monitor what enter password, everything you monitor, they can log it using a keylogger. Every key will record it. That's what we call keylog. Keylogger means it's log the keys. Okay, thank you.
They said,
next
my
we have
final assignment. I have one more question. Then this one is how our mode of assignment submission. The assignment we have been given from day one. How do we submit them?
I'll ask at the end of the class. I'll ask the question.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
What I'm saying?
How do we mode of submission of assignment submission? Mode of.
Not any mode of submission. I said you have to go through it. It's not a school actually, school college. You have to go through it for your career. But I'll ask certain questions out of those homework that I have given. Right? It's not something that you have to create a document and you have to submit. I'll ask the question out of those homework.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next, last question. Lingeshwaran.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Sir, yes, sir. Good morning. Sir, actually, I was not part of 14th session, which was happened last 14th, because we have that internal festival, right? Tamil New Year.
It is there, right? It is there on the YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube, yeah. Through YouTube, I was getting to know about this session. Just for information filling here, so I'm unable to attend the session due to 14th we have the internal festival, Tamil New Year Day, Tamil Nadu. This is my one information they want to share. And again, my next question is, if you look at this startup companies, I think from there only we are getting more number of security threats. Like they are not implementing the assets. What is the importance of security kind of thing? So any view about this? I want to ask.
It's not about small company, big companies. Maybe possible that a small company, but it's kind of data they are handling. Maybe possible a small bank or a small company, they are not, because this security device is also very costly, and deploying the SOC, setting the SOC, having all the people is also costly, right? That might be a reason, but I did not see that I did not see any survey that all these small companies are being compromised, because we see the news generally from big companies, right? So maybe I don't know from which source you have gone through the only small companies. I did not.
My worry is this small companies or startup companies, because of them only we are getting more number of, cyber attacks recent times. So as you mentioned that they are not able to buy that SOC tool or SIEM tool to implement in their company. Is there any possibility from our end we can, like as a company we can help them to prevent as such, like your companies, just to give an idea?
Of course, see, a very small company or big company, what kind of data you are handling, that is important. What kind of information you are handling, that is important, right? You have to ensure the security of those information. You are a small company or big companies. For a small company, there are companies which call us, other company we call service provider, managed security service provider. A small company who cannot handle their own security, who cannot handle that much of cost, right? There are ways to provide services. I mean, for example, SIM. In SIM, I have one SIM on which I have onboard 10 customers. Instead of deploying one SIM to one customer, huge cost, you can have a service provider, you can have one SIM and onboard 10 customers, you can do the monitoring on 10 customers. So service provider also will get money, as well as the company who is a small company, they don't have to deploy and have SOC team. So that is cost-effective solution where many service providers like Wipro, Accenture, Tech Mahindra, as well as small startup in service security, they're giving very cheaper solution.
Thank you, sir. One more last question, sir. In many of the organizations, if you see their IT sector, have created a methodology in which if any subject line contains spam, SPAM, it will automatically detect that email from port 25. Okay, so this is what implemented in many TPO industries, and
that is what we are going to talk about tomorrow. That is called email gateway. Okay, email gateway, you can identify those email, but email will not contain the word spam. They will have keyword, they will have different way to identify particular email is spam. Nobody will send the email and mention it's a spam. Yes or no?
Understand.
Yeah, the other way to identify email is spam.
If at all we aim to know all the keywords, if we implement that in the port 25.
Not keywords, that is called domains. Let's stop this communication because I'm going to cover it tomorrow only.
Okay.
Discuss more on it. Last question, Divya, go ahead. Last question. No more questions.
Today's session was really nice as the previous sessions. So I just wanted to ask you about the Splunk, which you are going to teach us for in the further classes.
It will be part of regular class. It will be part of regular classes.
Yeah. Yes.
I am tool
in that. So just wanted to know, is there any difference between the different SIM tools like Splunk or LogSystem? Or
if you're the part of the training itself, I will discuss. In the pre-workshop also, I'll discuss what are different tools, what is SIM, how it collect the data, what is the use of SIM, right? What are different vendors available? We'll discuss here in the class itself.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. So thank you. Bye. See you tomorrow at the same time, 8 o'clock.